YouTube, it's Dasha and welcome to yet another video about English idioms. Today we're gonna learn 11 American idioms that will blow your mind. Okay, I might be overhyping it, but they'll certainly make you scratch your head and go, what? But if you've heard any of these expressions before, good for you. And let me know in your comments. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Our first all-American idiom is behind the eight ball. You'll use it to describe a situation where someone is in a difficult position. In other words, it means to be at a disadvantage. So let's say that you messed up at work and got into trouble with your boss. You could say that you ended up being behind the eight ball.
It's behind the eight ball, you moron.
This idiom most likely comes from the game of pool, where if you pot the black 8 ball, you lose the game. And so being behind the 8 ball puts you in a difficult position. Now, I don't know about you, but I love sleeping in, and I couldn't imagine anything worse than having to wake up super early in the morning or to go to work late at night. Put differently, I'd hate to work in the graveyard shift.
Graveyard shift at the hospital.
Quite interestingly, the expression to work the graveyard shift has nothing to do with graveyards. Instead, it just refers to the lonely and uneasy feeling that you get when you work in the middle of the night, since there's not a lot of people around. Next is the phrase to get your ducks in a row. You could also say to have your ducks in a row. It means the same thing, which is to prepare and organize everything for something that's going to happen.
I have all my ducks in a row.
So let's say that your colleague is preparing for a major presentation at school or work, and you could say that Jesse is really working hard to get his ducks in a row for the big presentation. Don't ask me where this idiom comes from. Nobody really knows. It could be a reference to the game of pool, or even a lawn bowling game. It might even refer to the fact that ducklings line up behind their mothers when they follow her. If you've ever been to the US or talked to an American, chances are they would have said to you, "Have a good one."
Have a good one.
Before parting with you. When I moved here to the UK, I experienced a tiny culture shock when I heard English people say to me, "See you later," when I barely even knew the person I was talking to, and I would certainly never ever see them anytime soon. But I also heard Americans say, "Have a good one," which was much less weird than "see you later." The point is, have a good one is a very American expression that you won't necessarily hear a British person say. And the word one here simply refers to day, and it's like saying, "have a good day." Maybe Americans got tired of always saying, "have a good day," and just replaced the last word with one. Up next is the term a ballpark figure, which has been widely adopted by English speakers worldwide. It's another way of saying a rough estimate.
Give me a ballpark figure. How much?
Here's why this is an American expression. It comes from baseball, and specifically from how a commentator would give an estimate of the number of audience members by just looking around. Moving on to like a bat out of hell, which means to move very quickly, like a bat.
Jaguar comes racing around the corner like a bat out of hell.
For example, Charles ran out of the shower like a bat out of hell. When I think of the US, one of the first things that comes to my mind is chocolate chip cookies. I mean, what's more American than a cookie? Okay, maybe an American pie. And this brings us to the phrase, "that's the way the cookie crumbles." You use this expression when something bad has happened, and we should accept things as they are.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It's kind of like saying "c'est la vie," or "that's life." So, as an example, I can tell you, "Oh, damn, I didn't get into the law school I wanted." And you say to me, "Yeah, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles," meaning that's just the way things are. And speaking of education, if you're in the market for expanding your resume and knowledge in general, you can enroll to one of these awesome programs by applying through the International Business School Americas, or IBS for short. IBS offers intensive 3-week executive summer and winter programs at world-renowned universities and business schools in 5 international destinations like New York and even sunny California. Enroll now and get a scholarship that covers 60% of your tuition, which is a massive discount. You can check out the links to the programs in the description box below and make sure to use my promo code. Next on the list is the good old phrase, more bang for your buck, which is another way of saying value for money.
Demand a little more bang for their buck.
A buck is an informal, if not slang way of saying dollar, American dollar, which is what makes this an American expression. For instance, I bought this fancy watch for only $20. It was a huge bang for my buck. Then there's the expression the whole 9 yards. If you watch American television, chances are you would have heard this phrase many times. It means everything possible or available. Like, imagine you're buying a brand new car and you've opted for all the possible techie bits, leather seats and fancy tires. You could say, you should see my new Tesla. It has the whole 9 yards. The penultimate phrase for today is drinking from the fire hose. It's a strange one because out of context, it's really hard to understand what it could mean.
He's not drinking.
Helena's not drinking.
Simply put, if you're drinking from the fire hose, it means that you're overwhelmed because you're doing a lot of work. It's basically the same as saying that you've bitten off more than you can chew, and the amount of work that you're doing is way more than you can handle. So you can say, at my current job, I feel like I'm drinking out of a fire hose. I might be burnt out. And lastly, you can't get a more American expression than Monday morning quarterback.
Pat Ryan, quarterback. Pat Ryan, quarterback.
If you're anything like me and you're absolutely clueless about American football, a quarterback is the leader of the offense. And I know this because I Googled it. If you call someone a Monday morning quarterback, it means that that person is someone that passes judgment on others and criticizes them after something has happened. So let's imagine that you're a very poor person and you don't have enough money to send your kids to a private school. And then a friend of yours criticizes you for this. You could say to them, well, it's very easy for you to sit there and play Monday morning quarterback, but you have no idea what my family and I are going through. Which brings us to the end. I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video till the end. As always, remember to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to never miss another English lesson.